Hi, it's Connor from Mast, and what I'm going to go through today is setting up auto tracking on a SDT4, which is the panoramic PTZ. So you have two lenses, one at the top, one at the bottom. At the minute, I'm currently on the camera's webpage. You can see the top one is the panoramic camera. So this is an SDT4, the 4 megapixel version. So it's not true 180, this one. I think it's like 110, 120 degrees. So it's not the true panoramic. It still works the same functionally. If we go to the home page, you can either cross off live there or go to the home icon. First thing you can do, go to PTZ and then preset. Preset, I've already added a preset here, but it just basically tells the detail camera, the bottom camera of the PTZ, where it wants to go if you press preset 1. So I've set up a preset because later on, when we set up our AI rules, it will ask us where we want the default position of the camera to be. So if you have the bottom camera pointing at a gate, for example, you can make that preset 1, and then after the camera's done its tracking, it will then go back to preset 1, which would be the gate that it's looking at. Already got one called home here. If we go back to the home menu again, you'll get the option for AI. I have updated this camera to the latest firmware currently available for it. So on this camera, it's all done through the smart plan option. Sometimes you might get an option under panoramic linkage, which gives you the option to enable tracking. So check panoramic linkage first if your web view doesn't match up to mine, because you might have some settings under panoramic linkage here. But in my case, on this PTZ and latest firmware, if I go to smart plan, TDOC linkage mode, you want it in TDOC linkage mode. Independent mode would be basically that the bottom camera, it just acts by itself. The IVS rule would be set on the bottom camera. If anyone triggers that bottom camera, it would then start tracking them until it stops. TDOC linkage mode, that is anything caught in the panoramic camera by an IVS rule, the detail camera will then track it. We've got an IVS rule, we want that to be enabled, and linkage track. This is where we actually set the auto tracking on this firmware. So if I toggle this on, tracking duration, very important. There's two options: track until objects captured by panoramic camera disappear. If you have your panoramic camera and someone goes out of view of that camera, the detail camera will stop tracking. If we go to track until objects captured by detail camera disappear, that will be your detail camera, which is the bottom camera. That camera, if that loses the target, even if it goes out the panoramic, will still continue tracking that target. And finally, you've got custom. So custom will be how long do you want the detail camera to track the target for. The tracking target size is the percent on screen that the target takes up. So if a human is picked up on screen and you have it to 100, that camera will zoom in as much as it can. But generally 40 is usually okay to give you a view of the surroundings, and it helps the camera track a lot smoother too, because it doesn't have to zoom in as far. So next, and then yep, I don't think I have to do anything on this page. Next, panoramic camera. We want an IVS rule on that because then we can get that to trigger targets. Detail camera, idle position, by default, it is default. But if you change that to the preset you made earlier, when the camera's done tracking, that detail camera will go back to that preset point. Next, here you just want to click on IVS. This is now where you set up your IVS rule. So typically I would go for intrusion, gives you the appear and cross option. Take both, the direction that you want to trigger when someone crosses the line. We usually use both just for reliability, but obviously it depends on your scenario. Target filter, human or vehicle. You can disable vehicle if necessary. Event linkage, this is the actions that you want the PTZ to do whenever it triggers. So by default, you've got audio linkage and warning light on this PTZ. But if you didn't want those, you can just delete those. And then when the camera triggers, it won't do the sirens. So if I draw a rule here, drawing is complete, apply. So now what will happen whenever that PTZ detects someone in the panoramic view, it will have that detail camera start auto tracking.